Hello, welcome to this tutorial video about how you can set up your campaigns and some of the many features that we offer with campaign management here with Fund My Comic. Now this is going to be similar in some ways to some of the other platforms that you might have used, but there's going to be some things that are decidedly very different. So one of the first things you have to do is go in and sign up and log in. And once you've logged in, you're going to notice over here in the bar that you've got your messages, your profile settings, payment settings, and all of these things that you can add in here. Now, once you have contributed, you're going to see a link that has your contributions available, and you can see what you've backed. And once you've built a campaign, it's going to create a separate dashboard for you that you can manage all of your campaigns. So what we want to do is start a campaign, and that will use this tab here or this button down here. Try to make that very, very simple so that you can easily access those things. Once you have created a campaign and it's been approved, it will show up in recently added. And we'll talk about this featured perks in just a moment. Or featured picks, rather. So let's start a new campaign. The first thing you need to do is name your campaign. We're going to do this. I'm going to use a lot of images that I've already created for another campaign. And so let's look at the Rift Riders that we did. And I will just put in Rift Riders Second Chance, because this will be very, very easy to fill in. So you're going to want to make sure that you are grabbing your images that maybe you've already created. If you've created anything for Indiegogo or Kickstarter, it is going to be really, really simple to just import all of that stuff directly into your new campaign. So I am just opening up a Finder window, and I'm keeping that off screen so that it remains private. You guys know what your Finder windows look like. You don't really need to be able to see that now, do you? All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to find my Rift Rider cards. And I'm going to start pulling in all of the images that I need into the campaign. And we are going to start with some of our cooler images like this. We'll get that one in there first. And that is just a drag and drop. Now there are image resolution requirements on the side that will certainly help you out if you've never created an image or campaign readiness stuff before. But as you can see, that is populating that. This is a pretty high res image. Now I do have this that says only on Indiegogo. So before I would go live, I probably want to address that and to fix it, because clearly this is not the competitor. This is our own platform here that we get to use. But then title is required. Video is optional, but we are going to use videos on this. And there's a second feature that I wanted to point out that I think you will find very, very interesting. And it actually makes your campaign stand out a great deal. And I love it very much. So let me just quickly go here and grab a Rift Riders link. And so we're going to go ahead and do that commercial link. Let's grab that. So we have it over here. And we're going to pop that link right here in the video link. And then this is called a thumbnail video. This is still optional, but what happens is when the campaign shows up on our browse page, if you have a campaign video linked, it will play in place for the thumbnail. Okay? And that will make your campaign stand out incredibly well. So we want to make sure that you are popping something in there. So if you have a video for your campaign, putting a video in the thumbnail will be just as easy. Now we need to have a blurb. And what we don't want to do is have to redo everything that we've already done. So if you go to your previous campaign that you've already got created, you can literally copy and paste all of the stuff that you have from one campaign to the next. We've made that very simple and very intuitive. So I am going to just begin grabbing all of the information that I already have, and I'll put those things in spot of that. Now you can also have a header image, which is optional, and it's going to be a thin image right at the very top. You do not have to have that. I like to sometimes use a company image that I have for all of my stuff. We might create one that's for Arrow Comics, but right now, for the time being, what I will do is I will include a we'll just go ahead and put the header image in there again. I mean the campaign image in there again. We'll pop that in, and it will automatically crop those images to fit the 1280 by 280 format. So if it's a larger image, you'll notice that it cuts a bit of that off. And so really we only get Israel's face right there. The funding mode is required, and we have two that you can start out with. The all or nothing funding mode or the keep it all funding mode. Right now, the all or nothing, that processes payments at the end. So after the campaign has funded and reached its ending date, all of those payments for the customers are processed right then. And then with the keep it all funding mode, that payment is processed right away. So it automatically takes that out, puts it into the account, and we can control how the disbursement goes with that for you. So that's something where you would contact support, and we can discuss how the disbursement will go for you. By default, the disbursement is set that we do it at the end of the campaign by default. But there's other options that we can do for your business, because again, we want to offer you the freedom and independence to be able to run your business the way that you want to. We're going to go with the all or nothing funding mode for this one. And then location is optional, but you can start typing in where you're living. And we live right now in a place called, let's leave this one in our old home, Jacksonville. And so it will type that up. If you do not see your city, type the next closest city to where you live if you want to have your location in there. Because sometimes it is a little difficult for the system to populate every city that's available. But this one's there. You must choose a category, and here you can choose multiple categories. We're going to do comics, and we are going to do collectibles, because we are offering some collectibles with it. And that's what we're going to leave that one at. Your funding goal is required. It is by default set to US dollars. And as you can see, you can type in other things like Canadian dollars. But right now we have all of that turned off because we're trying to keep everything operating in Canadian dollars. In US dollars, sorry. And so we allow Stripe to do all the conversions for us from US dollars. So funding goal is required. Let's put in here a simple goal of $100 because we've already made all of our money that we needed on the other one. We're just wanting to run a second chance. So this campaign percentage is something that you can't touch, but is something that we can adjust. There are going to be a few things that we would adjust this for. Number one, if we've made a special deal for sponsorship with you, or the default platform fee is 3%. And there is cases where we might handle you might request that we handle some of your fulfillment aspects. And in that case, what we'll do is we would actually just take an additional percent So we would take 4%, and 1% of all of that is raised from your campaign would go to the person that's handling getting your printing and all of your things ordered in, so that fulfillment can be done by Critical Blast. And Critical Blast will be the one that comes in and takes care of setting up and making sure that all of your shipping costs are tweaked to handle their fee. So that's how we're going to be running those things. And we'll have more documentation on that in the future, okay? And then you must enter in the start and end date. Now this is pretty simple. You can easily pick a start date here. Let's just say we want to start this tomorrow will be March 7th, because we're doing this tutorial here, recording on March 6th. And I'm just going to pick some random arbitrary date, so like the 12th. It says that it's a 14-day campaign. I would like to run a 60-day campaign. Now here with this system, you can run the campaign as long as you want. If you wanted, you could run an entire 120 days. You could run an entire year. You could run 2 years. The freedom is entirely yours. There's no cap. Okay? So then what you would do here, if you decide you want to do that, you just go back in and decide, I want my start date to be on Wednesday. And really, I want my start date because I'm going to be launching on someone's show Wednesday night at, let's say, 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, all of this is set up on Pacific time. So what you could do is adjust the time frame here. So if it's going to be 9 p.m., that would be 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we are going to go P. And then once we've selected that, it automatically populates the end date to be July 6th at 11:19 a.m. It's going to end at this time. Now you can choose, if you want to do a closeout stream somewhere, what time your campaign closes. So this is 120 days for this campaign. And you know what we should do is run that as an all or nothing. I mean, a keep it all campaign. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. Now, it automatically saves your changes when you hit next. So you don't have to worry about saving and then hitting next. My account I'm using right now is Luke Tester. So that's pretty funny. So we have the description, which is required. Here's the easy part. If you've had another campaign already running, all you have to do is go over and copy all of the things that you have in your About section over there. Now, sometimes this takes a second for the scroller to catch up with you, and that's perfectly fine. This will grab all of the images and all of the text. It will not grab video links, so you will have to put links back in yourself. But you can put all of this stuff in. And this campaign has quite a lot to show off. So it's taken me just a moment to do this. But once I get down to the bottom, I simply hit Control-C to copy it. I come over, put my cursor in there, Control-V, and it loads everything right into the campaign for me. So all the images are loading in now. And this campaign is good to go as far as that's concerned. So there, all of my stuff is in there. Now here we can add additional links. This is optional. This is great if you have a mailing list that you would like to have featured, or if you have other things, like if you decide you want to link certain, some special things to it, you can do that. We also have a FAQ section. This, you can creatively name what the FAQ is called. So the question and the answer, or you can make it campaign specific, and then you would add all of your questions and answers in here. So for Rift Riders, we'll do, what would the question be? It would be the mystery goo, and we'll just call it so that was easy, just for fun, just so we can show you what it looks like. And then the first question is this book finished. So these are not required like they are in some of the other platforms. And you can say, yes, it's ready to ship. So there we go. We've added that successfully. If you would like to do your own Google Analytics, you can. You just need to grab your tracking ID and plop it in right there. So you can track your own campaign's demographics. And that is a fun feature that we are happy to be able to offer. Next step, it saves it automatically. All of that's done. It is going to, by default, set your rewards to pagination. Now, let me explain what pagination is, because it doesn't really explain it here. Let's say, for instance, you have a short blurb or bio about your campaign, and you have a lot of tiers and a lot of rewards. Currently with our system, we don't have the shopping cart feature. We are going to be upgrading to that next. That is our first priority as far as upgrades go. But this is set very much like old school Kickstarter, where you would have to put in multiple rewards or multiple tiers for your different items. So, but we're going to go into what adding rewards looks like here in just a second. But this is by default toggled on. So what this would do is, if you have a lot of those rewards, it will only load so many. And then at the bottom, it will say page 1 of 2, 2, 3. You can go to however many pages it is, and it paginates it. It makes pages for each reward. I personally don't like that, but some people want it, so we allow pagination to be an option. I always turn it off. That's just how I like to do things. I like the infinite scroller kind of campaigns. So we're going to add a reward, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to add the contribution amount. These contribution amounts will automatically populate in order. We don't have featured campaigns yet, or featured tiers yet. We're working on that. Again, that's another rollout that we'll be doing. But right out of the gate, we knew that Fund My Comic needed to launch, and so we're launching with these features that we have. So automatically it does this, but we have other things that are different than other platforms that you might like a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and put in here that this first one is 5, and it's called, we're going to call this one again the ones and zeros. And what you can do is you can easily just go over and look at your old campaign, pardon me, and use all of that same information. And so we're going to call this one ones and zeros, because we all like ones and zeros. And I did do a typo, because that is easy for me to do. All right, now one of the things that you can do is easily grab the image from the old campaign, just drag it and drop it right in. Well, actually, that needs to be done a different way. You grab your image from your desktop and throw it right in there. It loads it up, and that's done really nicely. Again, I have mine set a little higher resolution than they probably should be for this, but I'm that way. So then here you have the ability to put in all of the information about your perk or your reward that was there before. And so you can just easily grab some text and throw it in there. Now you can control this text any way you want. Let's say, for instance, you want to change the font to impact, and you want to make that a larger font so people can see it a little easier. And maybe you don't like it like this, and you want it center justified or whatever. Now, a really interesting thing is, if you are really into doing HTML coding, you can easily go in here and just edit your HTML code or create your own HTML code for it. So that is a neat feature that we've enabled that is not typically available. Now, the coupon code is a neat feature that we want to make sure that everyone understands. So rather than doing secret tiers or secret perks, what we have here is the ability to add a coupon to it. And right now, what you have to do is you can create a campaign-specific coupon code. Well, you have to submit that through support by going to the contact form and submitting that. We will create a campaign-specific coupon code for you. And then you can apply that coupon code to either one tier or all of your tiers. But you can only do one coupon code per reward. I keep saying tiers because that's usually the language we know, but we call them rewards. So you can only apply one coupon to each reward. Now, I've already created a coupon called the Beta Buster. So you just start typing the coupon code and it will automatically pop in there so that you can apply that. Now, you can limit the use of that by only giving it to certain people. And that really helps with mailing list perks. And you can also limit the use of that by only making it available on certain tiers or rewards. You don't have to use it on all of them. Here you can limit the number of items that you have available for that tier. There is an estimated delivery date. It is optional. You are not required to put that in. The reason why we've done that is you may not know exactly when that particular reward is going to be delivered. Okay? So as long as you're communicating in the campaign what your process is, and your backers know, that way you don't have to worry about popping that in. Or if you want to give confidence to strangers, you can pop that in. Now, if a campaign has shipping, this is where you'll add shipping. Just for the sake of tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do that. What you do is you select your shipping option. You can do by country or worldwide. I want to do one shipping cost for the United States. So I will just simply type in United States. Drop down menu, it's right there. And I want to do $7 shipping for the US. And now I want to add another bit of shipping for worldwide. And so now you can just create a worldwide cost of $10. And I'm just doing that as tutorial for tutorial purposes. You can add whichever specific countries you want and the prices that that particular reward will take. You're going to know what the inventory of that reward is. You're tracking that. We will eventually bring in inventory tracking to this website, but that is probably phase 3 or 4 of what we're doing. For the time being, you can handle those things with your own spreadsheets, because this will create a spreadsheet for you that just tabulates all of your, or populates all of your reward tiers and what people have purchased. This is a really cool feature that we've added called reward attributes, and it is completely optional. What I like to do is, say for instance, I've got one book, they're all the same price, but I've got 3 or 4 covers. So what I can do is I can, instead of having 3 or 4 different rewards out there, I can actually create one for the book. And I can just put cover, so it chooses, that's going to be the attribute. And then here is the value. So I'm going to say cover A. And this is what will be shown up on your spreadsheet that you download at the end of your campaign. We're going to do cover B, and then I always like a third option just in case. Cover C. So let's do that. We're going to do the 3 covers. You can name them whatever you want, but those are the values that we're going to add. Now let's say you wanted to make this reward only be available for a certain amount of time. You can do that right here with this option. Now we're going to add another reward, and this one's going to be a little different. We're just going to quickly add this in here. Do the physical book. I want to add the let's make that Piper's variant cover just to make it look nice. So we'll load that. We're going to add Beta Blast to that one as well. That right now is a site-wide coupon that anyone can apply to help bring people into their campaign as a bonus. And we're going to run that coupon for probably the first month. And so we're going to choose that one. We can limit this one to 25. And then we have a delivery date option, which I am going to choose. I know that I'm going to deliver this by, let's say, by the end of March, because that is actually when fulfillment for this campaign should be done. Now we're going to be done. I'm going to hit next steps. It automatically saves that, and now it gets into my how I am seen on the campaign. I can choose as an individual or as my business. And what's interesting is if you want both to show, you enable advanced, and you should choose both individual and business organization profile so they can see both. I just want my individual. I really suggest adding a picture and filling out all of this information. You are required to put in an address, so I'm going to put in my old address for that. We're going to go Jacksonville, Florida. And the old mailing address for that was 32216. And I'm more than happy to share that information because I am no longer there. You can put in your phone number and choose what it is. It's a mobile phone. And biography optional. Links are optional. This is great for your social medias, for your website, and even if you have a mailing list where you're continuously collecting emails. This is a great place as well. But again, remember earlier on in the campaign creation, you can put that in the link section as well. We're going to go next steps. This is where you would connect your Stripe account. So I will have to do this. I'll show you how to do this. You'll connect Stripe, and we're not going to really get into all of this with bank account information, but you will connect your account here and then go through these processes. This is all powered by Stripe. All right. So you'll take care of that. Right now, we are just going to go back and we're going to skip this section for now. It will be required. You do have to do it to run a campaign. The next thing you have is the widget. Our campaign widget is a very neat feature. What this allows you to do is to come in and change every aspect of things to match your website. Let's say if I were using my website, I use more of a red color, like a dark red like this. And then you can go in and choose what the top campaign and the author name looks like, what the funding info looks like, the color, what the blurb section looks like, the creator section. You can change all of these in the widget. And then you can even change the tab colors for your widget. So inside contact tab, everything is completely customizable, or you can choose a theme color that will kind of give everything a universal theme, and you can try that out. And then you can preview this. Once you've done this, you save the changes, or you hit next steps, and it takes you to where you can preview your campaign. Now, when you are in the process of reviewing this, you can actually preview the widget. And how you do that is you copy paste this, you put it into your web page, or alternately you can use a direct URL. Which the direct URL to the widget is right here. Actually, that will be to your campaign itself. But right here, this widget allows you to do all that. And so you can actually preview what the widget looks like, what it will look like on your web page. If you notice, some of these colors have already changed and the theme is different. The color for the funding bar is all different. And so that is what you will be able to do with that. So you can actually crowdfund from your own web page using our platform as your engine. This can plug in and they can go directly to your domain name, go to your crowdfunding, and you can keep them completely internal so that they never even have to leave your website. So this is actually a really good feature. Let's say you're a larger creator with a great YouTube presence and you don't really need people to visit our website, but you do want to take advantage of all of the features and tools that we have and not have to fussle with fussle, that is hassle and fuss. It's a new word I just made up with all of the stuff that we're doing, with all of this details. You can simply make your campaign and plug it into your website. A very cool feature that we're offering. And we will have snippet tutorials on how to do all of these things and what each one of these things is all about in the future. Then what you'll do is you have to connect, you have to select that you have read the terms of service, the privacy statement, and the cookies policy. When you select this, you agree. That is legally binding, folks. So make sure you've looked over all of those things. That is where a lot of other, that's why a lot of people get kind of messed around with on some other platforms. But our terms of service, privacy policy, acceptable use policy, our fees, campaign criteria, refund policy, and everything is available down here in the footer. But then you'll just send that for review. Once you've sent that for review, I can't send it for review because I haven't completed something, which is the financials. But once you've sent that for review, one of our campaign admins will take a look at it, and they have the ability to make notes. And they will create notes as they go if they see things that need to be addressed. And what they will do is they will either approve if the campaign is ready or decline if it is not ready. But there will be notes in there on why it's been declined. Now you have the option to go in and look through your campaign in each section, and there will be a note explaining what you need to address. Once you've addressed those issues, you can resubmit for review, and then the process will start over. Once our campaign management team has been satisfied that your campaign is ready to launch, they will hit the approve button and you will be ready to go live. Now, here is something very interesting I wanted to point out. If you are running a campaign that is not ready to launch, but ready to launch, you are able to send people to your campaign link after it's been approved. They will be able to look at the campaign and see it just like this. And if you've added your mailing list link, they will be able to join the mailing list from here. But they will be able to see all of your perks, all of your rewards, and all of the things that you have to offer. Unfortunately, they won't be able to choose a reward. That won't be an option for them. It'll say this reward is approved, but not, this campaign is approved, but not yet running at the top. But as soon as the date and time that you chose hits, it's like set it and forget it. It goes live. I like to do that for days when I am going to be doing a campaign launch on someone's show, and I don't want to chance missing the time or having a problem with launch. So what I do is I wanted my campaigns to be able to be set up so people can see them. And then as soon as the time hit, they could start backing, because I like to show people at the beginning of a launch party what is available so they can get excited, get their card information together, get logged in, register with their account so that they can back it, and then be ready for when that timer hits, they can go in and they can grab the tiers and the rewards that they want. So that's a really cool feature that I like. I like that a lot. And hopefully you guys like it too. But that is how you set up your campaign and some of the things that are within this process that you can take advantage of. When it does come to funding, I will tell you that if you're having trouble connecting your account, it is not a Fund My Comic thing. It is a Stripe thing. So you will need to contact Stripe to get your account information set up. Once it's set up, you'll be able to connect with your logins through Stripe and be able to just keep that connected. For every campaign that you do, this funding will stay the same. You can actually put in multiple linked accounts, but this is going to be linked to your name, to your login account. So you never have to do that again when you run a campaign. But let's say you're a publisher and you run campaigns for many people and you want to be able to put it in different accounts. Well, all you have to do is register different Connect accounts and log into those. Each log into them here. You can log into multiples and be able to choose which campaign gets which Stripe account connected to it. But that's all tied to either your publisher login or your personal login that you have. So it's tied to the individual so that you don't have to do that again. It makes life a lot easier for us and for you as well. But that's how you create a campaign. I will try to break this down into smaller sections where we just deal with individual things. But hopefully this has been helpful. We've got about 40 minutes here that you've been able to look this over. And I hope you have a lot of fun working with this. And I know that we're going to have a lot of fun helping you guys out. We do have a team of people getting together that's working on making sure that all of your campaign issues are taken care of. We are running in beta. Please remember that. It means that there will be times when we find glitches. And so when we find glitches, what we want to do is get on those right away. We create tickets for those so the developers can fix them for us. And that process is going really well. And right now we've found bugs and we've fixed bugs, and people are able to create campaigns and get things started fairly simply right now. We have a number of campaigns that are already live or getting ready to go live soon. So thanks for watching the tutorial. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you do have additional questions, please contact us through the Help Center, through the contact form on our contact page, or you can directly email us at support@fundmycomic.com. So all of that is available to you right there. Everything in those are working fine, and we are getting those. So that's support@fundmycomic.com. Thank you guys for taking a chance on this small startup, but we're building this for you. We want to make sure that everybody has the freedom to crowdfund the way that they want to and not be afraid of some crazy censorship that's out there. This is about freedom of expression, fierce independence, and trust. Have a great day. Remember, let's build up more than we tear down, leave the wood pile higher than we found it, and let's go make something.